Hey guys, how's it going? And today, for once, since I haven't done one in a while, I'm bringing you one of my own replays. This is the first battle I ever had in Des Moines. I had just bought it. I retrained the captain from the Baltimore, completely modified it to anti-aircraft spec with a little bit of extra gun range. And this was the first game I had in it, which was kind of interesting because it really didn't look like it was going to go too well at first. But thanks to the teammates that I had and a little bit of playing from me, it turned out alright. And I can't say I did amazing this game because I was still trying to figure out the shell arc that the Des Moines has. It seems a little bit different than the Baltimore, but I think I'm just a little bit more used to the Baltimore's long range compared to the slightly shorter range of the Des Moines. But I like the ship a lot better than the Baltimore just because you have that 6 rounds per minute. Is it 6 or is it 10? It's 10 rounds per minute. 6 is the Hindenburg, I think. But you have 10 rounds per minute, which allows you to correct any shots that you miss due to your arc or something a lot faster than you could in the Baltimore with its slower rate of fire. But first things first, since I am a Des Moines class cruiser set up for anti-aircraft, I'm basically a no-fly zone. I am going to protect our allied aircraft carrier who seems to be AFK, which that's always nice when it's a tier 9. So yeah, AFK Essex. But it doesn't really look like I have to bother with him. It looks like the enemy aircraft carrier is focusing the other side of the map with his planes, and I don't really have to worry about him for the time being. So for now, I will turn in and see if I can support my team in any way possible. And over here we have a battleship, a cruiser, and a destroyer that I'm supporting. And there's an enemy Iowa and Mikhail Kutuzov. So that's interesting. Poor North Carolina was broadside. I think that's about 1 citadel. So he won't be too happy about that. Ooh, somebody just smacked that New Orleans around, which is a good thing for us. Means there might be one less cruiser to worry about later on, hopefully, if they can take him out. We can only hope, though. So, where are these guys going to? We're starting to cap D. The enemy hasn't come around that back corner yet. And nobody's been in C yet, which is good for us because we don't have to worry about an enemy destroyer yet. And since I don't have sonar equipped because I am anti-aircraft build, I wouldn't have a easy time finding the destroyers that are in this match. One of which is a Shimakaze, which we will see at some point soon. But for now, our Benson and Mikhail Kutuzov are looking at the stuff on the corner, and I'm looking at our North Carolina as he turns to run away from the enemy Iowa. North Carolina, the rear is not where your armor is. Your armor is in the front, and you can kind of bounce Iowa shots if you angle correctly. So try being a little bit more aggressive. Sadly, our Mikhail Kutuzov is going to pay for our lack of aggressiveness that our North Carolina has. I know what's coming to that Mikhail Kutuzov, so I'm turning away because I know I'll be targeted next once that thing's done because I am next closest, and the Benson that's up there isn't going to be spotted. But Mikhail Kutuzov came around between those two islands sideways, and the enemy Mikhail Kutuzov in that Iowa just had a field day with him. And there he goes. He got one spread of torps off. I'm not sure if he popped his smoke. It doesn't look like it. But he is gone with barely anything contributed. And his torpedoes missed. So, yeah, not looking too good because now I'm running away from an Iowa. It's not letting me get my armor forward like I'd like to. That one hit me as it's going for the North Carolina behind me, who also isn't at a good angle to be bouncing shots. Benson has started to fire his guns, which means he's probably detected. He popped smoke. So, looks like the Mikhail Kutuzov is going to go after him. I'm going to try to focus that down so that my destroyer might be able to make it out of there. I kind of want him to live because he might be able to kill the Iowa. And he's also not running away like this North Carolina is. But I'm going to focus my fire on that Mikhail Kutuzov just because he poses the biggest threat to that Benson. And also the Iowa's focusing the North Carolina mainly. So I don't really have to worry about getting shot. Yet I'm still going to stay angled away from it in case he does decide that I look like a very tasty target. But continuing to drop shells downrange on this Mikhail Kutuzov. Benson dropped torps. It looks like they all missed though. I'm not scoring anything big for damage. Mostly 2k hits. He's kind of low. I take off another 1.3k and the Benson finishes him off. Now there's an Otago and an Iowa to deal with, and that Benson's still spotted. So he better start motoring if he's going to get away from those guys. But I'm going to start shelling the Iowa because he is the next biggest threat. And there's the Shimakaze, which is kind of scary because he's got a lot of backup. There's a nice 4k hit on the Iowa. But for now, since I don't really have to worry about him too immediately, I'm going to start focusing the Iowa since he's a major threat to my safety. And if I kill him, maybe, just maybe, the North Carolina will decide to turn around and actually take an aggressive stance against the enemy Otago or the Shimakaze, which hopefully he doesn't run away from that too. But I got the Iowa to pop his damage control, so maybe I can set him on fire again. That one seems to have been put out too. The Iowa has a 20-second damage control party active time, I believe. Somewhere near 20 seconds. I know the Montana's 20. But I'm trying to set him on fire again in order to burn him to death. I'm getting really good damage rolls on him because he's definitely not focusing me. And he's not focusing me because there's a New Orleans right next to him. And this New Orleans is awesome. He is going right in there using his front armor how it should be. And he's going to take some hits for it. But he's getting right up and personal with that Iowa. Hopefully shooting some AP into his side, which I believe he is. And he's going in for the kill even if he doesn't make it out. Here it comes. Bam. And very good job to that New Orleans. He did what he needed to do right then and there. I don't know if he could have kited there or not. I'm not sure the circumstances, but he just killed a tier 9 battleship with a tier 9 cruiser. I'd say that's a pretty good trade. I'd definitely take it. Did I say tier 9 or tier 8 cruiser? It's a tier 8 cruiser. But I'd say that's a very good trade in terms of health and firepower. Especially since they don't have to worry, or, well, I can't say that. They don't have to worry about our aircraft because our aircraft carrier is AFK. I'm kind of staying behind him because hopefully he's going to be used as bait. And it looks like that's what the enemies are focusing. The Shimakaze decided to shoot its guns at it. So I'm going to open fire on the Shimakaze, either try to scare it off or see if I can get hits on it. If I was lucky, I'd detonate it, but I'm not very lucky. It looks like he's turning, so none of my shots are going to hit. Benson's duking it out with him and got his engine. Come on, Benson, get some good hits on him. And live, please. I still need you. You've been a great destroyer so far, Benson. Live a little bit longer. Now I've got a fire on that Shima. Hopefully he hasn't used his damage control. Or hopefully he has so that the fire burns out. But I'm still hitting him in smoke. And I'm charging because I have a decent fire rate and a decent turn rate. And I can weave in between some of his torpedoes. Which he also just launched a spread on the Essex and sunk it. There's the Shima. Doesn't seem like he has last stand, which is kind of interesting since it's just a tier 2 skill, and it's extremely useful on destroyers since they always lose their engine, but since he doesn't have it, he's going to lose his life for it. The Otago's in the back. Wonder if I can get a good one on him. Atagos really like to show their broadside. I just chew them up in my Hindenburg all the time, and it looks like this one's going to do the same thing for my Des Moines. Good 3000k hit with HE. Loaded the AP. Where'd he go? 2 hits with AP. Slowed down because I know I'm within his torp range. Where is he? Show yourself, Atago. There he is. Fire. He's still broadside. Because, yeah. 17,000 damage with 3 citadels. And he wants some more, which I oblige by not hitting him. There's a little bit more. 6,000 damage since he was slightly angled. And the North Carolina finishes him off. So that's one less cruiser to worry about. And now we've basically tied it up. The enemy team has 2 destroyers, 2 cruisers, and a carrier. We have a badly damaged battleship, 2 half-health ships over there. I can't quite see what they are. I know one's a Des Moines. I think the other is a Shimakaze. Yep. So all in all, my team's pretty badly damaged except for me, so I need to get forward and I need to start tanking some stuff. Which, obviously that New Orleans over there isn't very happy with me or can't see that battleship because he decided to shoot at me instead. And the carrier also brought some planes a little bit too close and started to feel my anti-aircraft. He decided not to do that again for the rest of the match. So hopefully my team can live a little bit longer, because we're all very badly damaged and we're now only against 4 ships because they took out one of the destroyers. But the only thing we can see is this New Orleans, and the enemy does have a carrier, which poses quite a problem for our team if one of us gets caught out without an anti-aircraft charge or something on them. So I'm going to stick really close to this battleship for the time being in case that carrier gets any bright ideas. And I think the Des Moines over there can hold his own for anti-aircraft. And there's the enemy Fletcher. The enemy Zhao is right behind him, which is what our team over there is running away from. I really don't blame them. I would not want to fight a Zhao one-on-one with a Baltimore or a Des Moines, because I know at a specific angle the Zhao will just wreck everything if he knows what he's doing. If not, the combined HE and fires from both the Des Moines and the Baltimore would probably be able to take him down. But being that low of health, the Zhao's probably looking at him like they're food, and so I don't blame them for kind of moving back away and reconsidering their attack plan. Plus, I think the Shimakaze is reloading torps, so. Now, where'd this New Orleans go? I got a hit on him, but I don't quite know where he went. And I know he can see me because I just fired my guns. There he is. And this is where you can tell that I'm still getting used to the shell arc of this ship, because this is like a montage of fail shots for me at 10 rounds per minute. Look at, he's at such low health. One salvo missed. 2 salvo missed. And will I get it here? Nope, I overshot him. Come on, freaking hit him. There we go. 1 shot from that salvo clipped him. Now I gotta get around the side of this island. I'll cap this point as I go through, but I gotta get around the side of this island and help my team out against the Zhao, because I do have flanking fire on him, and if I can get a couple citadels into his side before he can react, it might turn it in our favor. So, I gotta get around this corner. And he's pushing into B, which is pushing on our Shimakaze, and I think our Baltimore class cruiser, which is something I definitely don't want. So I'll see if I can shoot over this island. My shell arc isn't quite high enough for that point, for how close he is. Looks like he doesn't want to quite go into B. So he's going to turn out, once again, can't make it over the island. But I do have 10 rounds per minute, so... Ooh, he has noticed me. Enemy fighters must have spotted me. Or torpedo bombers, whichever ones were closer.
The ship is on fire.
Friendly Des Moines right behind me. North Carolina coming up a little bit further behind. It looks like while we were killing the New Orleans, the enemy Fletcher capped the 8 point, which means he could be basically anywhere on the map now. He could be behind B, he could be in front of B over by the Zao again. So we do have to be careful of that. Once again, I'm slowing down because I am just outside of the 8-kilometer range of the Zao's torpedoes. But looks like the friendly Des Moines doesn't give a shit and is going right in to kill this Zao. So, let me just change my throttle and I'll head after him too. Because at this point, screw the torpedoes, I'm getting a Zao. And I'm just shooting over this island and scoring small amounts of damage, but really, any amount of damage is good damage. There's 2,000 and a Confederate award. No hits there. I shot that one at the island, so I don't expect much out of there. Somebody's got to spot him. There he is. He's turning away, so I might get a shot in. And nope, I missed. How about this one? That's what I like about the Des Moines. Oh, I missed. Throw another one down range. I missed again. Well, guns are loaded again. But somebody slapped him for just enough where my 1,000 damage that my last salvo did took the kill. And somebody spotted the Fletcher just behind B. So I gotta get around this corner and help our friendly Shimakaze out. Looks like our Baltimore went down fighting the Zao. But I'm gonna get around this corner and help that Shimakaze out against the Fletcher. But I think the Shimakaze can outduel the Fletcher at that amount of health with its guns. Pretty damn sure it can do that. There's one good hit on it. Come on, Shima, finish it off. You can do it. You gonna shoot it? Shimakaze? I'm not sure if he doesn't have a line of sight or if he's just not shooting. But it's not gonna matter in a second because I got my guns around on it. And yeah, that's gonna finish it off. And then our points are just gonna finish before the enemy carrier can do anything, and that'll be the end of the game. So that was my first bouting out in the Des Moines class cruiser. That is the American Tier 10, in case I didn't mention that in the intro of the video. But I really kind of like this. I've only played it once. I haven't gotten a chance to try it again. But I really do enjoy playing it. I really want to get in a game where the enemy carrier tries to fly over top of me so I can actually see the anti-aircraft firepower that this thing has. But I just really like the guns a lot more than the Baltimore. And I'm thinking it's because of the correction that you have. Like if you miss, you can just shoot again. If they dodge your shot, you have another one loaded by the time yours land. I just like the fire rate a lot better than the slow fire rate of the Baltimore class. And I think I can deal with having a slightly lower range of fire in compensation for the rate of fire. And I think these guns have a slightly smaller arc. I can't quite confirm that, but it's just a feeling that I get when I actually shoot them. All in all, I consider it a very, very fun cruiser to play. And it's not worth avoiding because people say that it gets citadeled and destroyed too easily and can't hit anything. I think it's really fun to play, and I'm glad I grinded to it. But going into the first after battle screen, I hit 139 shots. I shot down a total of 13 aircraft that got a little bit too close to the no-fly zone. 5 incapacitations, I think those were mostly on the Shimakaze. 4 ships destroyed total. 8 fires set. 3 citadels on that Otago. 3 base defended because I was just throwing shells into the decap. And 1 captured base from when I went through C. Also got a Confederate award and almost 9,000 experience to boot, which I'd consider a really good deal for my first outing in a tier 10. I definitely profited from this, and that's a decent amount of free experience in case I ever need it to research something. Plus 10 commander EXP flags are pretty good deal too for just driving around and shooting at stuff when I thought I'd end up getting sunk by that Iowa in the beginning. I'm throwing up the second end screen just to point out that in the first outing with the Des Moines, I scored almost 3,000 base experience, which I thought means I did a pretty good job. I'm kind of surprised that our Essex that did literally nothing the whole game got experience at all, but I guess that's alright that he got a little bit to boot. It might have been a disconnect error. I think I had one earlier that day, so I can't blame it all on him, but it's nice to see that all of my team got over 1,000 base experience, because it means we all pulled our weight in one way or another. And props to the enemy New Orleans and the enemy Iowa for also getting, and anybody who scored over 900 on the enemy team, because they really tried to pull out a win on their team, and they gave us a good run for our money when we were struggling in the beginning without a carrier. So definite props to them for giving us a good game. And going into the last end screen, I scored 27,000 damage with AP, so that was all on the Otago for showing his broadside. I scored almost 65,000 damage with just the high explosive shells, and I set about 10,000 damage worth of fires, mainly on the Iowa class battleship because I was just trying to light him on fire to get him to go away. But I considered that a really good game and a really good outing for the first time in a brand new ship. And I really like this ship so far. I like the fire rate, and I like the anti-aircraft capabilities that it has, along with the maneuverability of the cruiser as a whole. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will have a new video that I'm going to try out coming out pretty soon that I think a lot of people will be interested in. And I hope you all have a great day. See ya.